just raise the counter higher.
Okay, I can do that. So you said all of the rows here will be filled?
Yeah, more than likely all the rows here will probably be full.
All right, can you sit in this seat like right in front of it? You and somebody else like try to block. Like these two seats right here. Yep. Just stand. Now stand right. Stand. That's so. If you guys are standing, all of this is blocked.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to. I mean, no. Let me see. Try. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I mean, so at this height, this is as much height as I can get.
Okay.
I'm still like not really over your heads, but like it's as much height as
It's better than right? That's fine. And then if we have like extra seats, we can just tell people not to sit here.
Yeah, I mean, I think those two seats would probably be best to not have somebody in, but
Okay.
you know, do what you can.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. You should be able to do that. Just,
Okay.
Yeah, I got that with that.
And then do you want to copy this, or are you trying to follow along with how it?
Yeah, sure. For what it's worth, is if somebody sits in these two seats, it will block everything. So we asked to maybe try to keep those two.
These two seats
Yeah,
right
these
here?
two. Yeah.
Okay.
So if somebody sits there and they stand, it'll
Oh, I
so if there's
gotcha.
so that you will see people's back of heads for that. But you know.
Okay.
Other than that, I think everything else should be pretty normal.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, let me help you.
that live stream going? You should be able to just go to like the YouTube page. It should be there.
YouTube live.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Never. Never. And if you did that, yeah, you're gonna get in a bag. Yeah. I think I always do. It's pretty cool. I'm so thankful that I got it. It doesn't bother me. Which is so cool. I'm sure I'll get like I had a kid from Canada with an accident. An accident. She was like, this is pretty bad.
I do sometimes forget to.
Hello, can you?
Very quiet, yes.
Is that better? Somewhat? Okay. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. The ceremony will begin shortly. At this time, please silence all cell phones and other electronic devices. During the playing of the national anthem, it's customary for those in uniform to come to attention, and for the civilian members of the audience to place their right hands over their hearts while the national anthem is played. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the commissioning officers and playing of the national anthem. Please be seated. Lewinsky, and I will be today's Master of Ceremony. On behalf of Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps Detachment 695 Commander Colonel Joseph R. Augustine, I would like to welcome you to the Spring 2025 Pinning Ceremony. This ceremony marks the first time cadets will wear the rank of Second Lieutenant on their shoulders, celebrating years of hard work. We would like to take a moment to recognize distinguished visitors in the audience. Colonel Joseph R. Augustine, U.S. Air Force, Professor of Air and Space Studies, Air Force ROTC. We would also like to welcome all other distinguished guests, to include University of Portland faculty and staff in the audience. We are grateful for all the help and support that you have shown these cadets and the ROTC programs on campus. Active duty and retired military members, thank you for your years of service. Last but not least, we are honored to have all family members, friends, and loved ones watching and participating today. It is my honor to introduce Colonel Joseph Augustine to the podium to provide opening remarks.
I do have lengthy remarks this morning, but I just wanted to say how excited and proud I am. I've been here since last summer, so not even a whole year, and I'm so excited about what's about to happen today and how awesome these young cadets and now-to-be lieutenants are. I can't imagine what you all must feel like, because it's been 21, 22 years of the same feeling. So this is just amazing to see all the family members here. When we scheduled this room, I was like, are we really going to pack it? And wow, you know? And because of that, I want to recognize a bunch of people in the audience today, because this is really about y'all. And I was reminiscing, because yesterday at our practice, I said to you something like, hey, I still remember nearly 30 years ago when I was commissioned, and as I was walking away past the bell tower, I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I was talking to cadets, and I was like, do you remember 30 years ago when you came? It was really 29. When you came to my graduation, she's like, yeah, like it was yesterday. And my mom and I are old compared to you, so you're going to remember this day for the rest of your lives. I can attest to that, at least plus 29 years, and it's because it's a big deal, but you earned it. But I would like to say that it's really the people that supported you that are the most important audience of today. Much like I still thank my mom for where I am today and for where she was 29 years ago. And because of that, I want to recognize some people in the audience here, which is why I have 2 pages of notes. So please forgive me, but I think this will be pretty cool. And I'm using the word cadet for the last time. Do you realize that? This is the last time you're going to hear the word cadet. So I was writing this as like, Lieutenant, no, they're still cadets, but for like 10 minutes. So like, I'm really stoked about that. Is Hannah here?
Yes, sir.
I know you have to, like, if you gotta go, you go. But Cadet Soon-to-be Lieutenant Power's wife, Hannah, is here. She is his sunlight, his ray of hope, the person who makes him a better man. And she's got graduation today too, so if she runs out, just wish her good luck, okay? Thanks for being here. I know we wouldn't have such a fine product if it weren't for you. Edie Powers, his mom. Hey, when I holler, I'd love for you to like raise your hand so we can like acknowledge everything that you've done for these. You have always been there through thick and thin, and you were the foundation of his upbringing. Richard Powers, his dad, yeah, awesome. You were the man that he looks up to the most and taught him how to be a man. You always pushed him to do better and better, and I can attest that he did better and better. Sophia, his sister, welcome. You're his best friend and his little sister. He wanted, there was a story about how he threw a hamburger at you or something like that. What happened? Okay, that was the one that came to mind, so it must have been a good one. And then Parker and Layla, yes, his best friends. Thanks for coming. Cadet Thomas right here at the end of the row. His father, Rob Thomas, and mother, Christy Thomas, who were, hi, thanks for coming. It's funny because I was over at Pang a couple weeks ago, and I talked about my graduation. Someone I graduated with in 99 Grad Academy is actually the commander there, so we kind of have that like nexus here. But he said that you supported him in listening in the Oregon National Guard, and supported him for his move to Vancouver, and helped him. And he's going to pilot training, and I think we all know how important that is to him. So he really attests to how much you support him attaining those goals. And you know what? That's a big deal. So I'm stoked for you too. Caitlin Thomas. Caitlin, thanks for coming. Apparently, you beat him up as a sibling, which I'm happy for. I'm happy for that because it really toughened him up. So thank you. Yeah, I thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I hope there's more of that to come. The friends from Redlands, Eric, Ernesto, David, and Isaiah, are you here? Yeah. I was like, hey, do you have a story you can tell me about, what you guys got up to? And he said, yeah, there's lots of stories, but nothing I can tell you. So there's going to be some, interrogations at the reception, you know what I mean? And then finally, we would like to take a solemn remembrance for his late stepmother, Patria Thomas. She can't be with us today, but she'll be looking down on him from above as he slipped into surly bonds in pilot training. Cadet Leach, your mom and dad are here. Hi. He wanted to convey that he can't thank you enough for your constant support. John, who introduced him to ROTC and supported his journey in progress. His sister Tony, for pushing him to strive the best he can be academically. Jacob and Luca. Everyone's all in the same spot. Okay. He's known you for 3 years. I remember when he came back from the hot dog competition. And I looked it up. So in 2024, Joey Chestnut set the world record with 83 hot dogs. I think Cadet Leach, soon to be Lieutenant Leach, got 10? 8? He told me 10. Anyways, thanks for not making him sick. And then Maya, he wanted to thank you for your entire 4 years at UP. Held him accountable when it came. I saw that and I laughed because I just want to thank my wife for being here. Held him accountable when it came to being on time. Does that sound familiar? It's just like, yes. And for going to events to experience college. He experienced trips, restaurants, and movie together that have been huge in your development as a person. Thank you so much. And we did get to hear about the Ireland trip. So Scotland, Ireland, all of it. Yeah, jealous. Well done. Representing Cadet Harold are his grandfathers, Charlie and Bernie. Are you here? Hey. And I heard you are both Air Force officers, and Charlie was also a civil engineer. Charlie? Yeah, you were also a civil engineer, inspired him to get into the civil engineering career field, which is super exciting. Everybody wants to talk about the pilots, but like none of that happens if they don't have a runway to land on. So that's really, and everyone's talking about pilot training. When you get to be like an FGO, you can spend all your time worried about if the runway works and the lights are on and if the bathroom's functioning. So make the CE guys your friends. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. And I lost my place. Okay. Family, parents, brother, grandparents, cousins, and friends who have always helped and supported him without hesitation. He also wanted to give a shout out to his mentors, and I know there's numerous of you in here, so please pat yourself on the back. And finally, and I think that's cool that you called out the cadets. And Cadet Harold wanted to say thanks to the cadets for helping him learn to be the leader he wants to become. So, and I appreciate you cadets for being here too, so thanks. And then finally, last but not least, Cadet Soma, Steve Soma, in here, Steve. His dad, who pushed him from a young age, ensuring he worked hard and was ready for life, as well as is it Rolson? Dennis Rolson. Dennis, hi. Who helped him through college and offered unlimited support. And finally, a shout out to Sarah, his mom. It's a pleasure to meet you from afar, who pushed him growing up to accomplish everything he said his mind to. She helped him write his resume late at night at age 14, allowing him to get into flight schools. And you have 160 hours. How many hours do you have? 120 hours, right? That's pretty awesome. That's going to be an advantage here pretty soon. And helping him to get into flight schools and ensure he achieved his dreams one day. And I have in my possession the least best kept secret of today's presentation. And so I want to jump ahead and say, Mom, as a result of this effort, I had the distinct honor to compete Cadet Soma's record at a national board for a particular award that you're going to hear about later. And usually this award is given freely by the detachment commander for those detachments that have 10 cadets or greater, but we have 5 graduates this year, which means I did not have this particular award to give. And thus, I had to compete him at a national level, and there weren't a lot of winners, because you can imagine, like, when it comes to that level of competition for 134 detachments across the United States, you have to be really good to win this particular award. But not everybody saved 2 lives and has the records that your son has. So I'm really proud of that, because honestly, I spent a lot of time drafting that package. But it wasn't me, it was the accomplishments that you said. And here's my line I wrote about that. Because his record is so good, and because he saved 2 lives, and because he has the very spirit of service apparently written in his DNA, thanks to you, he rose to the top of this national competition. And with that, It is such a heartfelt welcome that I welcome you all here today. What an exciting day. I urge everyone to really soak it in, enjoy hanging out with the cadets, and most especially the graduates. Drink lots of water, because you're going to want to remember it, as I can attest to. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Augustine. Although this ceremony is brief, commissioning a new officer is an important milestone involving several elements. First, the oath of office is administered. The new officer will individually raise their right hand to swear an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States and all that it stands for, and ultimately the people of the nation. Next, the officer has their new second lieutenant bars pinned on their uniform. The gold bars symbolize the officer's new authority and responsibility. They are pinned on by significant individuals chosen by the new officer. The final portion is the first salute to the new officer from an enlisted member. This traditional salute signifies the trust and respect of the enlisted corps. It is an acknowledgement from one service member to another that says welcome to our service and to the profession of arms. In return, the officer may give a silver dollar to the member. This coin is more than a payoff in currency. It represents the officer's deep sense of gratitude for the knowledge and traditions of the enlisted corps and recognizes their invaluable role in assisting new lieutenants to lead. The tradition of the first salute may be observed during the ceremony or saved for a later date by the commissionee to surprise an unsuspecting airman at their first duty station. Ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to move around and take photographs of your new lieutenants during this event. It is customary for those in uniform to come to attention for the civilians in the audience to stand in silence while the oath is being administered. Cadet Ian Harold and Lieutenant Colonel Charles Myers Jr., please come forward. Cadet Ian Harold will be commissioned by retired Lieutenant Colonel Charles Myers Jr., U.S. Air Force.
Duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Will his parents Susan Harold and Doug Harold and his brother Evan Harold please come forward to pin on his rank. Lieutenant Harold will be a civil engineer officer for the Air Force. His first assignment will be at Mountain Home Air Force Base in Mountain Home, Idaho. Harold will receive his first salute from Specialist Nathan Plumer, U.S. Army. Congratulations, Lieutenant Harold. Cadet Zachary Leach and Major John Swearingen, please come forward. Cadet Zachary Leach will be commissioned by Major John Swearingen, U.S. Army. Will his mother, Claire Memoration, his father, Walter Allen Leach III, and his sister, Tawny Leach, please come forward to pin on this ring. Lieutenant Leach will be a weather operations officer for the Air Force. His first assignment will be training at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio.
It's hard without an officer.
Lieutenant Leach will receive his first salute from retired Senior Master Sergeant Walter Allen Leach, Jr., U.S. Air Force. Congratulations, Lieutenant Leach. Cadet Richard Powers and First Lieutenant Bevan McWhorter, please come forward. Cadet Richard Powers will be commissioned by former First Lieutenant Bevan McWhorter, U.S. Army.
take this obligation freely
take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
that I will well and faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
the duties of office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Will his wife Hannah Powers, parents Edie Powers and Richard Powers, and sister Sophia Powers please come forward and join to pin on his rank? Lieutenant Powers will be a developmental engineer for the Air Force. His first assignment will be Fort Meade, Maryland. Lieutenant Powers will receive his first salute from former Corporal Richard W. Powers, U.S. Army. Congratulations, Lieutenant Powers. Cadet Aaron Soma and Lieutenant Colonel Seth Hartman, please come forward. Cadet Aaron Soma will be commissioned by his uncle, Lieutenant Colonel Seth Hartman, U.S. Army.
I state your name. Having been appointed second lieutenant of the United States Air Force,
Having been appointed second lieutenant of the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution
that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same,
That I will well and faithfully
that I will love and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of doctor.
of the office of Doctor.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Will his parents Sarah Wilson and Steve Soma and brother Aiden Soma please come forward to pin on his rank? Lieutenant Soma will be a pilot for the Air Force. His first assignment will be training at Vance Air Force Base in Eden, Oklahoma. Congratulations, Lieutenant Soma. Cadet Ryan Thomas and Lieutenant Colonel Natasha Wagner, please come forward. Cadet Ryan Thomas will be commissioned by Lieutenant Colonel Natasha Wagner, U.S. Air Force.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ryan Robert Thomas,
Having been appointed the second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
have been appointed the second lieutenant of the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
Will his parents, Robert and Christy Thomas, and sister Caitlin Thomas, please come forward to pin on his rank. Lieutenant Thomas will be a pilot for the Air Force. His first assignment will be training at Columbus Air Force Base in Columbus, Mississippi. Lieutenant Thomas will receive his first salute from Staff Sergeant Yvonne Yanez, U.S. Air Force. Congratulations, Lieutenant Thomas. Please join me in a round of applause to congratulate all of our new lieutenants. Before we conclude today's ceremony, we would like to recognize one individual who put in just a bit more throughout their time in this program. In Air Force ROTC, the honor of Distinguished Graduate is reserved for the top 10% of Air Force commissionees from across the nation. Their selection is based upon several criteria, such as grade point average, extracurricular activities, physical fitness test performance, field training performance, and demonstrated leadership. I'm pleased to announce that this year's distinguished graduate is Lieutenant Aaron Soma.
Hey, once again, in closing, thank you so much for being here. I did want to take a moment to thank Cadet Polinsky, Fab, and everybody else who put on the ceremony and all the stuff that you're going to see today, and would like to make a warm welcome to our nice reception out back so we can mingle a little bit and get to know each other. So once again, thank you so much. We're proud of you, Lieutenants. I was talking to Fleur, I was like, holy cow, it's so weird to see you guys wearing officer rank. It's really exciting. It's a huge transition. And I'll see you out in the foyer. Thank you so much.
This concludes today's kitting ceremony. The joint commissioning ceremony will begin at 11 in January in Baccio Commons. Thank you.
I've heard the best thing to do